Afternoon. This is Deepali Hase here. Today I am going to brief about on basics of SQLRPGLE and SQL joins. So let's get started. So what we mean by SQLRPGLE? SQLRPGLE is nothing but writing SQL statements in our SQL RPGLE program. So we can do this in by two types. We can achieve the coding by two types, like hard coding the SQL statements in SQL RPGLE program. This is called as static SQL, and we can create SQL statements dynamically at runtime based on the parameters which we input. This is called as dynamic SQL. So in by these two types, we can code SQL statements in our RPGLE program. And for compiling this SQL RPGLE program, when we press F14 and F4 on the program, we get the command as create SQL ILE RPG object. So this command is used to create the SQL RPGLE program. So the compilation happens is divided into two parts. First is SQL pre-compilation. In this here, what the compiler does, it validates all the embedded SQL statements which are there in our program. If there is any error in the SQL statement or host variable is having any wrong value, then the compilation stop and the pre-compilation report is generated. If there is no error in this SQL pre-compilation, then the main program is gets compiled. So the compilation process is divided into two parts. Now we will see how we write the SQL statements. In fixed format, we can enclose the SQL statement in uh, in bracket of execute SQL and end exec. So in fixed format, end exec is mandatory with execute SQL, but in free format, we can only use execute SQL. So end exec is not required in this case in free formats, right? Next thing, host variables. When we use dynamic SQL statement in our program, at that time we need to specify parameters to get the values to execute the SQL statement. So what are the variables which we declare in the program to getting the values? These variables are called as host variables. So host variables are used when we want to pass parameter or get the result from the SQL statement. We use host variables. In SQL, the host variables are always preceded by a semicolon. We can see here in this example. I will show in here. See, here I have declared one variable like variable 1. It is of the same type for the of the variable which I am using from my file. I have written one SQL query and I am getting employee name in my host variable like PEM name. It is preceded by semicolon, and the employee number is will be provided from this host variable 1. I am assigning the value 3 to variable 1. So when the query will be executed, it will get the employee name in PEM name host variable, and the variable 1 is the employee number. And we can use multiple fields also to retrieve multiple column values. We can combine these multiple variables in a data structure like this second SQL statement. Here I have declared race1 as a host variable, and it is of type DS. You can see here it is a DS, and I am getting employee name and salary fields in this DS. So this is how we can use host variables in our SQL program to execute dynamic SQL statements. If anyone has any query, please can interrupt me and ask anything. Okay, sorry. Now SQL cursors. So what do you mean by cursors? So it is nothing but a temporary result set which can hold data uh, from database file, and we can manipulate the data by using the cursors. It can hold more than one row at a time, but can process only one row at a time. Um, and there are two types of cursor: serial cursor and scroll cursor. So what are the steps that are required to create embedded SQL? Here we need to declare the cursor first. Show the steps here. In this program, I have created one cursor. I am declaring the cursor. First step is to declare the cursor. So I am declaring this cursor and the query. I am selecting all the records from employee file, and I am declaring the cursor for that. After declaring the cursor, we need to open the cursor. So I have issued the open cursor command here. After opening the cursor, we can fetch one by one record. So I am issuing here fetch next from that cursor, and this is the result field. So this I have declared as a DS. This field is declared as a DS, like same as that employee PF record format. So whatever the fields are there, that will be come into this field. And the successful execution command is checked by this SQL code is equal to 0. Whenever the SQL statement is executed successfully, this SQL code field becomes 0. So until there is successful execution, I am reading all the records from the file sequentially in this loop, do and undo. I am reading all the records one by one from that cursor. And after reading all the records, we need to close the cursor. The steps that are required to that are required in while writing SQL embedded SQL. As I said, we can check the successful record execution command by SQL code is equal to 0. And whatever, if the record is not found, then the SQL code becomes 100. So this can be checked by using SQL code is equal to 100. And if there is any error, the SQL code is less than 0. This is the example which I already explained. If we want to see the result, I will run this. This will display records sequentially. My employee file has presently has 5 records. From first, it will start reading the records and it will display the employee name sequentially. So every time it will fetch the next record and it will display the records. So all the 5 records from employee file are displayed. And when it does not find any record, the SQL code will become 100 and it will come out of the loop. When we write dynamic is embedded SQL, at that time we need some more steps to execute the commands. Like we, I need if I need to prepare dynamic SQL statements. In this case, I can use prepare. What this prepare will do, this will convert a character string into an SQL statement. So we can see here the example. In this program, I have created one string. It is of 100 character, and I am assigning my SQL statement to the string. I'm updating employee PF file, and I am setting employee name, which is inputted by the it will get the value inputted from the user, and the employee number will be also inputted from the user only. Oh, in prepare, we can prepare the SQL statement by using the character string, and then we need to execute the character string by using the variables. Here we are using host variables to get the values to update employee name and employee number. If there is, so we can use prepare and execute if there are parameters are involved in the dynamic SQL query. But if there are no parameters are involved, it is a hard-coded query, then in this case we can use execute immediate like this. My string 2 is to insert a record in employee PF, and it will select all the records from employee PF1 where the employee number is 11. So in this statement I am not using any host variable. So this query can be executed directly. So in this case we can use execute immediate to execute this query by using this string. We will see this example. Employee number. Here I'm using this employee PF only. So if I want to change the employee number to Vinod name to some other name, then I will enter employee number as 2, and I want to change the name to Medha. So here my database will be updated. So for this employee, the name from Vinod, it is changed to Medha. So this is how we can use host variables, and we can execute SQL statements by using prepare, execute, and execute immediate. Yeah, this execute immediate is also got executed. Here I have issued the command to insert a record in employee PF from employee PF1 where the employee number is 11. So 11 number record is added in the file employee PF. Next thing is, this is the example only. So serial cursor, we already seen that. Actually, it is the cursor which does not involve scroll keyword. In this type of cursor, we can fetch each row of cursor one by one only, and each row can be fetched only once per open in this type of cursor. So the steps are similar, like we need to declare the cursor first, then we need to open the cursor, and we can fetch records from that cursor. Fetch next is same as read, so it will read the next record, and it will do it till the end of the file, and we can close the cursor. This is used to read sequentially, read the file sequentially. Scroll cursor. Scroll cursor is used with scroll keyword to define the cursor. And in this type of cursor, we can fetch the row of the cursor many times. Or dynamically, we can fetch the records from that cursor. And we can use different keywords to fetch the rows. We can position to the row, any of the row to the cursor by using these keywords. We can use next to fetch the next record. It is same as read. Prior is used to read the previous record. First is used to fetch the first record from the result set. and last is used to read the last record from the result cell. Before is used to position the cursor before the first row of the result cell. That is beginning of file. Before is used to position the cursor to the beginning of file, and after is used to position to the cursor to the end of the file. And we use relative keyword to fetch a specific row from the file. These are the examples for scroll cursor. Have declared cursor C1. We need to define scroll keyword for scroll cursor. So I have used scroll keyword here, and I am getting employee number and employee name from employee PF file, and I'm getting by the order of employee number all the records I'm reading. Here I am, after declaring the cursor, I'm opening the cursor and fetching first record. So it will fetch the first record. It will get the first record from that cursor. It will get employee number and employee name. Again, till the successful execution, I am reading the records and displaying it. After reading all the records, I am going to close the cursor. So here we are using the scroll cursor for reading from first record to the last record. So here it is reading all the records from the file from first record to last record. Sorry. This example is to this is also a scroll cursor, but here we are reading from last record to the first record. So here I am pointing the first record to last record first. Sorry, pointing the cursor to last record first. And if the record is found, then I am displaying the result. Then I am reading prior records. So I am reading the file from last to first record. And after reading all the records, I am going to close the cursor. So it will read the last record first, then all the records like this. And relative. Relative is used to retrieve a specific record. Uh, Again here scroll cursor is defined, and I need to fetch fourth record from that result set. So I will give relative and the fourth phone number. So it will read only the fourth number. Again I am checking the successful execution. If it is correct, then I will get the result, and I am going to close the cursor. So it will give the fourth record. So in this way, we can use scroll cursor to fetch a particular record which we want from to read from the file. This is example. This is relative example. Now joins. Sorry. As we all know, join is used to fetch records from two or more tables based on a common column between them or related column between them. So there are multiple types of join. First is inner join. Inner join is used to fetch records which are matching, which have matching values in both the tables. Here, here I have declared one cursor for getting employee number name from employee PF file, and I'm joining this file with department PF based on department ID. So here department ID is a common field in both the tables, department table and employee PF table. So whatever the matching records are there in both the tables will be get displayed because we are using inner join here. After declaring the cursor, I am opening the cursor and fetching the record from the cursor, and if the successful execution is there, then I am displaying the record, and it will be continued till the successful execution from that result set. And after that I'm going to close the cursor. So these are my files. Here both all the values are there, but in department ID the IS department is not there, so the second record will be skipped in this case. When I call this program, it will get first Aarti, third record will be get fetched. So in this result set we are getting 1, 3, 4, 5 because uh, the department ID for second record in employee PF is not it does not have matching record in department PF file. So this record is skipped. Similarly, we can get the values of left. Okay, I will go here first. So after inner join, left outer join. This is used to get all the records from left table and the match record from the right table. Here I am using the SQL query only. In this result set, it is showing all the records from left side table. And since there is no matching record in department PF, it will show null values here for that record. It is left outer join. So all records from the left table will be presented here. Right outer join, it is same like as left outer join. It will return all the records from right table and the matching records from the left table. See, sales department, for sales department there is no matching record in employee PF. So for that record it will have null values and all the records from department PF table will be displayed. And full outer join will contain matching records from both the table as well as all the records from left table and right table also. So whatever the matching values are not there, that record will have null values accordingly. So these are the this is the syntax for inner join. We at least should have one column common column from both the tables to join. For left outer join, it will show all the records from left table and common records from both the table. Right outer join, it will show all the records from right table and matching records from both the tables. It will show matching records as well as all the records from both the table. Yeah, that's it. If anyone has any query, can ask me.
Okay, Deepali, very nice session. Thank you. I think we need to arrange for another session, advanced level session next time, wherein I think we can provide for some assignments and then follow up. So
Okay. Yeah.
I think, yeah. So the silence is taken as no questions and no further inquiries. So thank you all. Thank you for joining
Thank you.
and thanks Deepali.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Dipali.
Thank you,
Thanks,
ma'am.
Thanks, Devali.
Thank you.
Thank you.